U.S. city of Atlanta is situated in the southeastern state of Georgia, near the southern end of the Appalachian Mountains. Atlanta is the center of a sprawling metropolitan area of 5.5 million people and growing. Atlanta's downtown is over there on the horizon, but the rest of the city is a little harder to see. It's under all those trees. Atlanta is blessed with such a thick, continuous canopy of greenery, it's often referred to as the city in a forest. Journey through the city's past at the Atlanta History Center. From the city's beginning as a railway terminal in 1837 and through the plantation era to the American Civil War, when the city was almost completely burned to the ground. The museum holds one of the largest collections of Civil War memorabilia in the country. But it's not all flags and cannons. Many exhibits focus on the human cost of this terrible conflict. In 1996, the city lit up again, this time for the Centennial Olympic Games. Atlanta got all gussied up and was presented to the world. And it just gets more graceful with every passing season. Atlanta today is a dynamic center of innovation and investment. Two of its leading corporations are also major tourist attractions. Go behind the scenes at CNN's global headquarters by taking a guided tour through the television network which pioneered 24-hour news. Nearby, you can learn some, but not all, of the secrets behind another little homegrown product. At the world of Coca-Cola, travel along a bottling line and through the 125-year history of a company that produces over 1 billion gallons of cola every year. Right next door, and containing 10 million gallons of water, is the Georgia Aquarium, one of the world's largest. The aquarium features 6 exhibits, from cold water displays featuring beluga whales to touch tanks featuring rays, crabs, and starfish. But by far, the biggest attraction is a massive saltwater tank, the Ocean Voyager, where you can actually swim with whale sharks. Atlanta is a city filled with architecture, synonymous with Southern style and grace. But for a taste of pure 1920s indulgence, step into the fabulous Fox. Like a vision from Arabian Nights, the Fox Theater features a ceiling embedded with more stars than a moonless night in Georgia. Atlanta has long been an arts-loving community. One of the world's greatest stories, Gone with the Wind, was written and set here. Visit the humble apartment where novelist Margaret Mitchell once lived and worked before her Pulitzer Prize-winning novel set the world on fire. While Atlanta's favorite novelists dreamed of bestsellers, one Atlanta son dared to voice the shared dream of millions of African Americans: equality. The Martin Luther King Jr. Historic Site celebrates the journey of one of history's most inspiring men. Visit the civil rights leader's humble birthplace, the museum dedicated to his achievements, and the Baptist church where he once preached, and now lays at eternal rest. Step back a little farther in time at the Fernberg Museum of Natural History and the adjacent Science Center, which examines history and science from the Big Bang to more contemporary times. If you prefer your animals a little more active, head over to Zoo Atlanta, where a fabulous collection of giant pandas, gorillas, giraffes, and rhinos await. For a different kind of wildlife, spend an hour or two exploring the vintage emporiums and bars in Little Five Points, one of Atlanta's many diverse neighborhoods. Atlanta wears its gracious parks like a Southern Belle's ball gown. Cool off in Centennial Olympic Park near the city's downtown, or stretch out and rest a while in Midtown's Piedmont Park. But for the best views of all, head east to Stone Mountain Park. Take the scenic train around the 5-mile circumference of the world's largest exposed granite monolith. Then mosey on up to the summit via the hiking trail or on the Summit Skyride cable car. There it is again, Atlanta, Georgia, sitting pretty under all those trees, just waiting to be discovered.
Nestled deep in the heart of Texas, the state capital, Austin, is located along the Colorado River. This is where the ranches of the Texas Hill Country meet the prairies of the coastal plain. Austin has skyscrapers and crowds, but isn't the biggest city in Texas and has a distinct bohemian feel. The University City attracts the young and the talented, so the population is growing fast. In a bid to keep the original, laid-back, and anything-goes spirit alive, Austin's long-term residents make a point of keeping Austin weird. As the self-proclaimed live music capital of the world and a place where art is all around you, Austin has a strong cultural identity. Start exploring, and you'll soon find out that the locals have an affinity for self-expression, stars, festivals, quirky humor, guitars, and state history. Austinites are Texans first, Americans next. Austin was born around the campfires of buffalo herders, the first pioneers of the Texas wilderness. The Swedish immigrants from the 1830s called this spot Go Valley, good grazing land. Austin has since spread its wings, but you can still catch a glimpse of the past in the Zilker Botanical Gardens. Visit the city zoo and see the longhorns, long a symbol for Texas. Or, for a modern take on Austin's cattle history, browse the contemporary Blanton Museum of Art. Austin is rich in nature too. Enjoy one of the many outdoor activities in Zilker Park, or head to McKinney Falls just south of the city, where you can clamber over rocks and cool off by the streams. Back in the center, explore the quirky shops on South Congress Avenue. Strolling SoCo should be a part of any Austin experience. Be prepared to encounter uncommon objects and carnivalesque zebras while you shop for vintage clothes, designer shirts, or a pair of iconic Texas boots. As in any Texan city, you never have to look far for lunch. You can find food trucks on every street corner, so take your pick from succulent Tex-Mex seafood, Indian dosa, or German wurst. The downtown bistros are great for dinner. Even in winter, you can take a seat on a terrace to enjoy a meal or drinks. Austin is also known for its famous music and food festivals, like South by Southwest and ACL. The Austin City Limits Festival pays tribute to the longest-running music program in the country. The TV show's first ever guest was Willie Nelson, and the legendary country singer used to perform in the Broken Spoke, a rustic local landmark. Listen to up-and-coming bands before you go, and pay your respects to one of the other Austin musicians who captivated the world, guitar hero Stevie Ray Vaughan. Standing on the south shore of Lady Bird Lake near Austin's famous Bat Bridge, he is not the only remarkable resident here. When night falls, head east on 6th Street. There are always some live bands to see, and it is the place to be for all kinds of evening entertainment. Listen to blues, have a cold beer, watch a cult movie, or catch a comedy show. It's hard not to be taken with Austin, and people here say it has its very own soundtrack. A rhythm you can easily tune into once you understand the eclectic tastes of the unique capital of the Lone Star State.
Chicago is situated in the Great Lakes region of the American Midwest in the state of Illinois. Rising from the edges of Lake Michigan, Chicago began as a tiny trading post at the mouth of the Chicago River and has boomed into a modern global center of commerce and culture. The Windy City has always been driven by an unshakable optimism and can-do attitude. The Great Chicago Fire of 1871, which destroyed half the city, was seized upon as an opportunity for the metropolis to reinvent itself. What followed was the biggest building boom in U.S. history, and a skyline that is almost beyond beautiful. Start your visit in the Loop, the central business district encircled by the L, Chicago's elevated train line. The streets within the Loop are a showcase of architecture, from the world's first high-rises to the cloud-piercing towers of today. Willis Tower held the title of world's tallest building for almost 25 years. Take the 60-second ride to the sky deck. On a really windy day, you might even feel the building sway a little, but don't panic. It was designed to do just that. The Loop also contains some amazing outdoor sculpture and an historic theater district, which makes the area feel like a cross between a museum and a film set. Running north from the Loop is the Magnificent Mile, where you'll be able to gaze up at even more wonders from the Chicago School of Architecture. Looking a little out of place is the Old Water Tower, a lone but much-loved survivor from the Chicago Fire. Shop till you drop in the upscale boutiques which line the Magnificent Mile's wide boulevards. And when it's time to refuel, sink your teeth into a deep dish pizza, an old Chicago favorite. Following the south bank of the Chicago River and winding between the canyons of glass and steel, the Riverwalk offers a relaxing change of pace from the downtown bustle. Still within the Loop is Millennium Park. Once the site of railway yards and car parks, the area has been transformed into what critics have hailed as the future of parks. The centerpieces of this visionary space are the Frank Gehry-designed J. Pritzker Pavilion and the BP Footbridge. The park showcases a number of public sculptures, including a futuristic stainless steel archway to the city, Cloud Gate, or as it's affectionately known to locals, the Beam. Just across the road is the Art Institute of Chicago, whose exterior is a work of art in itself. Set aside at least a day to explore this treasure house of European, American, and Asian masterpieces. There are plenty of treasures to be found outside the Loop. Just to the west is one of Chicago's hidden gems, the Garfield Park Conservatory, an inner-city haven for nature lovers and a first-date favorite for Chicago couples. In nearby Oak Park, step inside Frank Lloyd Wright's home and studio, where for 20 years he pioneered an entirely new architectural vision for America. Unity Temple is just a short stroll away. Completed in 1908, this Lloyd Wright masterpiece is widely regarded as the world's first modern building. While you're in Oak Park, stop by the birthplace of one of Chicago's most famous sons, Ernest Hemingway. In the nearby museum, fans of the novelist can read from his childhood diary and original manuscripts. Down by the Loop's waterfront, the historic Navy Pier offers entertainment for all ages. The pier is also the place to climb aboard one of the many lake and river cruises on offer. Just south of Navy Pier, the Field Museum houses over 20 million specimens from the world of natural history. Say hello to Sue, the largest and most intact skeleton of a Tyrannosaurus Rex ever unearthed. The museum might look a little familiar. After all, it was the home base for Indiana Jones in the blockbuster movie series. A little further south along the waterfront, you'll find the Museum of Science and Industry, known by generations of school children as the best field trip ever. Here, you'll get to explore the inner workings of man and machine and discover the secrets of natural phenomena like tornadoes, lightning, and avalanches. Chicago's largest green space is Lincoln Park, a 7-mile stretch of shoreline which runs north from the Loop. It's home to nature reserves, a conservatory, and monuments to many of the nation's heroes, including the park's namesake, Abraham Lincoln. The park also features the Lincoln Park Zoo, which has been entertaining and educating visitors since 1868. The zoo features 2 sections specifically designed for children, and best of all, it's free. The park is also home to the Chicago History Museum. From gangsters to baseball, this is the place to visit if you really want to know what makes this unique city tick. As the sun sets, Chicago truly lights up. But don't plan on going to bed early. The city offers some of the best jazz, blues, and theater in America. So come on over to Chicago. The memories you'll take away will last a lifetime, no matter how hard the wind blows.
Dallas is located along the Trinity River in the southern state Texas, with the Gulf of Mexico to the south and Oklahoma to the north. More than 6.5 million people live in the Dallas-Fort Worth-Arlington metroplex. Hollywood films and TV shows have painted a picture of a desert city ruled by oil magnates and cattle barons. But despite its Wild West image, Dallas is not a rural city, and Texas is not all desert. Flying in, you're welcomed by the sight of the Reunion Tower, a long-standing landmark of this fast-developing southern city. These days, the biggest local industry is technology, and some even call it Silicon Prairie. The more common nickname is the Big D because Dallas is so populous and the main commercial hub for the region. Explore the cultural side of Dallas by visiting the downtown theaters and galleries. Head to the Arts District and browse the Dallas Museum of Art to see American designs and famous European paintings. Next door, the Nasher Sculpture Center mixes the traditional with the contemporary in a tranquil setting. Enjoy nature's masterpieces in the Arboretum and Botanical Gardens, with colorful displays of native plants and European flowers. On a hot day, order a treat from a food truck and enjoy lunch on the lawn, Texas style. Explore the underwater passages of the Dallas World Aquarium to observe remarkable creatures from up close. The aquarium is more like a zoo, so don't miss the jungle walk if you like monkeys. Nearby, children can fly like a bird, outrun a dinosaur, witness a tornado, or feel an earthquake at the Perot Museum of Nature and Science. At the Dallas Zoo, they can see cuddly koalas, hand-feed giraffes, and admire other giants of the savannah. Visit the Six Flags Over Texas theme park in Arlington for even more family fun on the more than 100 rides. Ride the Rock and Rocket, roll a ball, and try a Texas-sized hot dog for lunch. Grab some boots and a 10-gallon hat and explore the Heritage Village. Then, gear up for a trip to South Fork Ranch, the film set of the immensely popular soap opera Dallas, to enter the estate where J.R. and Sue Ellen played out their unhappy marriage. After nearly 4 decades, this family saga is still being followed by fans all over the world. Step into the middle of a cattle drive in the heart of the city at Pioneer Plaza. See bronze statues of Texas Longhorns in the landscaped park. This recreated prairie commemorates the old cowboy trails, which brought the first settlers here in the 1800s. One of the most momentous events in American history took place in the former book depository in West End. Stand at the exact location where the shot was fired that killed John F. Kennedy in 1963. The 6th floor museum at Dealey Plaza documents the assassination of this charismatic American president. Don't leave Dallas without tasting a Texas barbecue, or, if you prefer fine dining, order sushi atop Reunion Tower. End your day with dancing or lounging in a cocktail bar uptown. The free vintage trolley will safely shuttle you back to downtown at night. Come to Dallas, where modern meets old, and where the friendly locals with their Texas twang will show you a welcome as big as the state.